Hey everyone, hope you're all doing well. Today we're going to be working on the passenger side door. It's done. Well, that was a short episode. Thanks for watching. Catch you in the next one. Not quite that fast. All this is the skin. The stuff underneath, that's still missing. Check it out. See? Nothing. Just put that over here where it's safe. Welcome to Envision Prototypes. If you're new to our channel, I'm Nick, and today we're working on this 56 Chrysler Windsor. It used to be a 4-door if you're new, and we've shortened it by 18 inches and turned it into a 2-door. And that door skin, that was the easier part of what we're about to be doing. And we had to make sure that everything else in the surrounding areas, the front fender, these panels, were all roughed in before we get the structure going. Door skin, doesn't matter how well you do it, if it doesn't swing properly and doesn't work with the panels around it, it's pointless. A little while ago, we fabricated the driver's side door bottom, we repaired it. The driver's side door, it's intact, it's on the bench there next to you. And at the same time, I fabricated a bottom for the passenger side. Really strange bottom, it does taper from a wider width at the front to narrow at the back. And it's got a bit of a reveal here at the bottom to hook on, for the door skin to hook onto. And well, that's as far as we got. Today, I've prepared everything in terms of templates, almost. I'll show you what's going on for the front, back of the door, and the top. I think we'll incorporate that into the main sheet that it's going to be the main panel for the door structure. The most complicated part is going to be the hinges, getting the pockets right, because this throw, normally on a modern car, it dives inside the fender. Here there's no room for that. They open out and past, and you have to make sure that nothing binds up and that the latch works. So all that has to be taken into account. We need to build the end panels, the cosmetic sheet metal, if you will. Then there's a structural component inside for the hinges to attach to, and all that has to be tied in to a piece that creates a structure. Okay, so here we have the door structure for the driver's side, and as you can see, I've got some cardboard going. I've created the front template, part of it. I've taken out the rubber seal. I waited until the new rubber came in to match it up to make sure that there was the right stuff. So now that that's out, we're back to a rusty surface. You see the rubber held some moisture and it rusted a bit. We had to make some modifications with laying the windshield back. The top of the door was too wide now, so we had to adjust that. And back in here, well, you can see that's a template. It's going to flow from the bottom all the way to the top, make it out of one piece with pieces added on to it. So you'll have the main surface, you'll have 1.25 inches, I believe. You'll have this triangle, we need to add that, and a roll in to pick up that interior panel. That's what I was talking about. This is the complicated part here and here, because you can see I've welded additional structure from the other side, and to get the depth of the pockets right, that's going to be fun. On this side, we have it all nicely gift wrapped with tissue paper. Not really. What this is, it forms to the shapes of the door a lot easier than pressed paper. I like working with pressed paper, but tissue paper has its place as well. A couple magnets pinning it. There's features for seals, the edge of the door, and this top piece is going to be left out and done later because, well, it's complicated. That's where the latch, actual latch goes there. That's where the top of the door has a flange there. And you just can't move that much material unless you do a separate piece, which isn't a big deal. We'll get the separate piece in. And I'm going to take it and roll down and pick up the bottom of the door on this side so that we kind of grab one into the other. It creates a stronger corner. And yeah, that'll be good. Oops. So what I have to do now is get a nice sharp razor blade, chop off the excess, transfer this tissue paper onto cardboard, and I'll keep this off to the side for now. I'm not going to lose it, but we're going to create this as one piece out of cardboard. I'm not sure if I can create that step. It's tricky because you need to shrink, you need to stretch, shrink and stretch this material here to create that step, and that's the better part of, that's about 2 inches, and that's about the limit of the kick shrinker. At 18 gauge, that doesn't want to move steel too easily. So we might actually make this piece out of a separate piece of sheet metal and just weld it together. We'll see. So hopefully, end of next little while, end of today, we can have some semblance of a door structure. The top of the door, let's see here. I was mentioning that we can do it. Yeah, we can do that out of this piece that we create for this, can roll down, over and out, and that'll pick up the fuzzies for the windows. A lot of this stuff here, this is the armrest, that's on the main level. This used to be a power window area that was bossed in to hold the power window motor. Not necessary anymore. We'll have a reveal around this perimeter. We'll probably have to open this up this way for the new power window mechanism to slide in. Make sure I have enough room for that. This is a door, oops, this is a door handle, the interior door handle. So a lot of this other stuff, this was for the vent window, the fasteners for the vent window. We don't need a lot of that anymore. There's one more piece of rubber here, see that? This one hasn't come in yet. I'm looking for this one, this top seal. So when that comes in, then we can peel that off. This one is good to go. Yeah, that's the piece that we put in to extend the doors. And a lot of this stuff is just ribbing for strength. We'll probably recreate some of it, but it's not necessary to create all of it. Like this boss down area that was for the window stop, no longer necessary. So we're going to simplify this door. Like we're not going to create an identical door. We're not creating identical restoration. If we were to do that, I would take and cut all this out, make up a brand new panel that works and functions with the new handle or the original handle and new power window regulator. This car is not worth that effort. We're building a driver. And once you put the door panel on, yes, I know it'll be different, but anybody who jumps in shotgun, they're going to have a lot of fun just getting a ride. So let's get into this, get that front piece made, get the back piece made, and then get everything spaced out in that hole, and then form up this last piece, get it on some screws, and see how it functions. Yes, on screws. I'm not welding it until I know everything works. It's good. We're going to have our hands full with this piece and the front piece. Later we'll do that one, detail it, you know, that fun stuff. And well, there's 1, 2, 3, 4 pieces. Yeah, we're a quarter of the way there because the bottom's done. But we also have to radius our quarters, radius the back corner, so lots of work. have our front piece, our back piece. We're going to be using two different rollers, a sharp one and a softer one. The one that, the roll that goes into the cab on the back, inside of the door, that's going to be a soft one. The one that rolls out to pick up the skin, that's going to be a sharper one. And we want the seal to sit in nice and tight in the corner. We don't want it to be bulging out. Now, I put this line on this side using the template when I traced it, but I need to have it on the other side. And the easy way to do that with a tipping wheel is to apply a little bit of light pressure. In you go. 18 gauge is fun. And just transpose the line onto the other side by rolling over the line on this side. And there we go. There we have it. There we got it. Now we take it, roll it over here. You can see the line. A little bit of dust on there. And we can take and now roll that up the other way. Okay, here we go. Let me double check that. Just as I suspected, we don't need this corner. That'll come in later with the top piece. I've never built a Chrysler door before. First time. In we go. Let's get the pressure up. First pass. Now we will have to shrink the corner a little bit, as well as the bottom, to get it to stand up the way we need it to. One. There is another feature. Did I screw up? Okay, so that's two passes and we're starting to get it to roll up. I'm going to shrink that corner a little bit, or I might even cut it. This is only about ½ an inch here, so I can cut a lot of that away. Don't have to fight it. Alright, so I went and checked to see about this extra bead we have to create in this area for the latch and the door seal. This is the flange for the skin to pick up on, so we have to look at this one as well. And before we get too far ahead with the outside one, I'm going to put this one in and see how much it stands up. If we can get it to stand up and roll that one over at the same time, bonus. Sometimes you can, sometimes you can't. This one here, it's a soft radius from this side, and that's the inner door panel. Now where the latch is a bit of a jog. I'll put that in later. Right now we're going to run a straight line. That thing is going to kind of peter out. That's not looking too bad. There we go. So we're getting this leg up. Now we're going to take and roll that one down. And by rights, I should, and it peters out over here, that's why we're off the line. By rights, I should be able to shrink this one, standing that one up. We'll see what happens. This is why I wear long sleeves, because these panels tend to rust very quickly, even with protective coating on them. Now this is going to be the tricky part. Oops. It wandered a little bit. We'll fix that. See how this edge is starting to wander, getting wavy? I'm going to go to the shrinker, shrink this a bit, shrink the corner, stretch this corner, shrink that corner, and then we'll come back and keep rolling it up. and that will be the door end. We're getting closer. I think we can do it. This here, I'll put that in at the very end. I'd like to take and roll this leg down. We're getting near the end of our bend. A little more. Gonna have to use a hammer and dolly and fake that in. Wow, it's a lot of pressure. Come on, in you go. Okay, I think we'll be okay with this. We can touch it up with a hammer and dolly. I am out of breath. With a little bit too much there, not a problem. I actually put it through the English wheel and straighten that edge out after shrinking it first. And then we can do a little bit of stuff here. This panel is starting to get curvature and it has to be straight. So we'll get that corrected. Let's get this one going. Something easy. Let's take the pressure down a bit. This one has a lot of curves to it. Come on. Wow. This is the front edge of the door that goes around to the windshield. All right, that's looking good, but in the wrong direction. We are going to have to bend here and here to roll and roll around the door. This is picks up the skin, this front edge of the door, so this has to roll down, that'll roll up. But what I'm going to do first is roll this back one. It'd be nice to throw it in the brake, just bend it, but this is not a straight line, even with our special brake. So put the soft wheel in, roll it up, and then when I shrink and stretch, I will stretch here, shrink here, stretch there, until we get the flow of the door. And I may need to cut out some material here because rolling over 2 inches, or sorry, shrinking 2 inches is quite a feat with the kick shrinker. Just keep repeating the passes, climbing that ladder or slope bend every time. You'll never get it in one shot. If you choose to do it manually. I have a reciprocating hammer that I have dies to roll edges, but a lot of people don't, so I just do it this way so you can see how to do it yourself if you ever needed to. Putting together a tipping wheel this one has a wheel on top. You don't need this. You can just have 2 rollers, set of bearings, skateboard wheel, all set. There we go. Nice soft roll. Got our pot marks for the door latch, and we have the back edge. Now we got to clean this up. This is a bit wonky. Front edge of the door, this one rolls in. It's a matter of keeping track of all the bends and rolls. Sometimes you get going and create 2 of 1. So, oops. I don't plan on doing another Chrysler anytime soon. This is a 56 Chrysler. We do have a Dodge product that we're working on. You'd think the door would be straight. This door has a curve to it, I guess to increase hip room. And there we have it. I need to roll that up. I'll shrink it first, roll it up, clean this up. And well, the back edge of the door, we don't need it right away. Actually, this is the front edge of the door. The front edge of the door is the piece we need to start fitting to the car, to the hinges, blocking it out. I have to develop some pockets there and there to swing the door, or swing this front piece. So, a lot of work yet. Okay, so here's the form for the front of the door. I got it over a dolly here, a piece of pipe with a rounded edge so I don't mar it up too much. As it turned out, because I was stretching so much with a shallow shrinker, I ended up tearing that, so that's fine. We'll take and correct that once it's part of the frame on the car. Let's go fit this, see how it looks. I need to start marking out, I did the top one, but I need to mark out the bottom hinge pocket, right there actually, where it's gonna sit, but we need to cut that out. This one here slides through a slot, this one here is actually a recess within the door. So let's go take a look and see how it fits. So there we go. I need to open this up a little bit, flex it a bit. As you can see, I can't move it anymore. I need to move in another 3/4 of an inch here and probably an inch down there. By cutting this out, that's going to help us do that. Yeah, this here, I didn't want to really cut out a notch and then have to form a piece to fit into that. We will have to create a piece, yes, but if I cut just ahead of these bend lines and bend on that, leave enough room on this plane here to bend in, we'll have a nice radius edge just like this, but in a different location. That's going to be the lower portion, so if we move up from that 1 inch, right there, we cut here, so just ahead of the bend line, we can just take and roll all that down, even here, just do this. We'll stretch it into place. There. So I'll cut that out. We'll get a hole saw, punch that out, or a step bit probably, that'll work well. And use a zip blade, cut that out. Yeah. Grab these. Now, bend, 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 and we'll deal with the corners in a bit. Try this out. I'm going to make a slight cut, not all the way to the point, just an introductory cut, and we'll see if we can, I'll get you over here. Something like that. Something like that. Now this one's tricky because no material to hold it. I can try and sneak in this way, but I could hit the tripod. No good. Okay. And hold that down. See, and we don't have any raw edges, sharp edges anywhere. Easier to finish because all we'd have to do is blend it in to the inside. We don't have to worry about radiusing the outside. If I can support it. Nope. All right. Let's punch a hole here, and then we can fit it. Yes. Okay. This needs a little bit of a twist. This plane versus this here. So that'll be done through here. Yeah. This flange is coming in. There we go. That's better. So it looks a little bit distant here. We need to make an adjustment in this curvature, bring it out. This panel sits a bit of an angle, and right now it's perfectly straight. So by us doing that, we'll take care of that. Only thing is we got this sticking out, so a little bit of fine tuning. The bottom, yeah, the hinge is good there. That hinge sits well there. I guess it's time to make some reinforcements up, pockets, if you will, to hold this to the reinforcement to the hinges, because this isn't bolted to the hinges, it's those pockets. And the other thing we can work on, I'm going to tuck the bottom in a little bit, it's sticking out past. And the lower portion of the door, we have to figure out where the radius is. We're not going to, we'll double check with that door, but I'm going to go by this opening. They should be identical from side to side, but you never take it for granted. Yes, we installed these posts, but on production cars, you get some strange surprises. Trust me, we've seen it all. Anyway, I was going to talk about the Jaguar hood we had to repair. It was 5/8 of an inch out of square, so one side was longer by 5/8 of an inch. You didn't notice it on the car, but when you're trying to gap it, yeah, fun. Okay, I guess it's something we can do now while you guys are here. There's there. There's there. Oh, that's the maximum radius. That's going to roll up. So we got a little bit of radius here. Here starting. That's a starting termination points. We are going to cut back. I've shown this before. Rather than cut right down the center of that bend line, we're going to cut just through here, just on the upper portion as it rolls up. And that way, as this panel rolls upward, we again retain that nice bend instead of a cut line that we have to blend and make into a radius. The same deal right here. Cut all the way up to here. Like that. Oh, this one's a long one, okay. I think I just had an extra piece and I didn't bother cutting it. Okay, and again, oops, and again we'll cut there. I was out of frame, I think, because I can't see from the other side. Okay, with this, I'll run a zip blade through there, zip blade through there. We might even get this bottom of this door in place, this part here. I'm curious. It sits on a 1/2-inch piece of plywood that's been sitting there for, 2, 3, yeah, probably 3 weeks. Since we did the driver's door. I need the radius to outer corner. Yeah. So that's a major radius there. So that's where most of the bend is going to happen. And it's going to pucker up a little bit, you know, because that material has no place to go except out. So. Okay. Not worried about those wings. If you're awkward, it's not going to roll properly. Now I've got a little pucker that I can't get rid of. Where'd the shoe hammer go? Once the material kinks, it's a real to get it out. There we go. Got it. Now, I'm going to turn my back to you. I apologize. This one. See, now I created a dent there. Let's go fit this. My SD card says I got 11 minutes left. Let's get rid of those. I don't think we're going to need all of that. Just trim it a little bit longer. Yeah, and that leg is getting in our way. The back looks good. Actually, we can unroll a little bit. We're a little bit too tight. So good thing I left a bit of material. I'm wondering if the SD card is accurate. I've never run one out. Just haven't had time today to download the images or videos onto my computer. It's been a busy one. Well, I'd say that's coming really close. That radius is lining up with this, which is what we need. This is in the way. We're going to cut another corner. These are the old ones. Yes. Okay, that's good for now. We have to make that adjustment. Yes. The back, I have to again unroll. Yeah, we got the 1/2 inch space there. Why was I using the wrong pair of snips? That's better. Okay. So that's going to sit there. We have our space here. Again, I have to unroll the back one, get it fitting. Cut there. That's fine. It's going to meet up somewhere up front here. I don't want to cut that off. There. And let's see if we can get the back in. What do you think? There, it stays on its own. Vice grip, if I had one, I'd clamp it. I don't. Yeah, that has to drop quite a bit. We're too high. This bottom's too narrow. I kind of extrapolated the distance. So we're gonna take and drop that probably 1 inch there. We'll correct that space there. And the width will fall into place. So you can see that's what I was talking about. The gap, we've dropped down 1 inch from the top because that's way too high. The top of the door should be about there. That'll drop this down, moving that radius up, moving that thing in, and everything aligning the way it should. So there we have 3 sides, 3 end, back, bottom, and front pieces. This space here, not a big deal. That's just kind of waving in the wind. We have to start, like I said, with the front hinge mounts and work our way back. I was curious to see how well we could run this in. It's getting late and my SD card's getting pretty full, I think. It's screaming at me. So we'll have to make some more room. Tomorrow we'll come back, or yeah, I guess tomorrow, Saturday, yeah. And we will continue on. The top, see that, will be trimmed, cleaned up. We have our 1/2 inch space in there. We'll add a piece in here to reinforce that, clean it up. We can't overlap it because that's a flanger the skin will hem onto. The top has to be tweaked. This, I think, yeah, we are a bit high because this radius should be down here. So again, the whole thing moves down. Oh yeah, we can't forget about the door latch plate. We need to create a little step inward. Let's see on the other one. Probably hard to see. You see a little reveal in? We have to do the same thing on that one. Otherwise it won't operate properly. It'll bind. We can cheat, yeah, but the other thing it also does is add strength. Every time you add a bead, a feature, or whatever, it's going to add strength to the panel. Check out the curvature. Now this is just gravity's holding it down, so it's pushing it out, but that will meet up quite nicely with the door flange. We also have to install this guy. This goes onto the jamb to pick up the quarter. We have to hand the quarter over. Oh, a lot left to do. This is a lot of metal work on this project, you know, just to convert it to a two-door. Sometimes you can reuse jambs and throw filler pieces in and weld the back door in, but then you're stuck mudding. Here, that's why the front is behaving the way it is. I've jammed it in to hold it for us so we could eyeball this. But if you took, say, the back door, the panel would go in and then out. And well, you'd be left with a bunch of filler to throw in there. Okay guys, next step, hinge mount pieces, reinforcements. This baby right here, out of 16 gauge. You saw me struggling with 18, wait till we get into 16. We don't need to recreate this up here, that's for the vent window. But this main member here, we recreate that, and we have to make mounts, or plates I should say, threaded plates with little things like this that allow us to slide around to adjust the door, so we can get that in to the passenger door. There's a lot of stuff happening. A lot of triangulation. Yeah, that's where the door check goes, and we will have to make sure that we maintain this height. Not too concerned about this diagonal here. Yes, it adds strength to the post to the front of the door, but we're gonna have to see what we can do to make a compromise. Because yes, we can form that at a 16 gauge, but that's gonna take a lot. Gotta think about it.